Hi, how are you? Okay, so I'm going to share um, some videos from the exclusive test coach test group. And this is, oh, it's going to go live. This is the benefits of Shakeology with the actual creator himself, Darren Oline. So I just am excited for you guys to listen because it is so good. So let me find him. Okay. To be. Oh, we're just going to go to videos. I will post some other ones. Delete this.
Hey, coaches.
Is it?
Hello.
Okay.
Welcome to a special Zoom call. I am joined here by someone that doesn't need any introduction. She's been at the forefront of 2B Mindset, helping Ilana create Lara Ross. Welcome to this Zoom.
Hi, everyone.
Great to have you. And we've got the co-creator, co-formulator of Shakeology, Isabel Deichler.
Hi.
It's a special Zoom. We're so glad to have you with us. We're going to be going over the benefits of Shakeology. We realize a lot of you are brand new Shakeology enthusiasts. We hope that you guys become lifelong 365ers, obviously. But we're here to talk specifically about the benefits of Shakeology. So tag your coaches below. Make sure that they tune in later if they happen to be at work. If you have questions directed to Isabel, please ask them, but understand some of these questions might be better answered by Ilana. But for sure, when it comes to Shakeology, she is absolutely the best of the best. So we're so glad that you made time to be with us.
I need you to specify I'm much better than Darren.
You are much better than Darren. Well, there you go.
You just did it yourself.
We're about to hear why you're much better than Darren.
Oh, God, now I have to live up to it.
That's it.
Not
Welcome to the call. Glad to have you. So tell us about the start of Shakeology and how it all started for you.
Yeah, I think it's important, especially for the people that are newer with us, to understand my why, because at the Beachbody community, there's always a big why. Why are you here? Why? Uh-oh. Am I still on? Okay, good. So my why started in my early 20s. So I was a track and field coach, a nutritionist, and sports psychology specialist. I was dealing with athletes a lot. I was in good shape. I was running, sprinting, doing kettlebell, lifting, body weight, yoga. I thought I ate good. And despite all that, I found myself getting sicker and sicker, weaker and weaker, 21, 22, 23, until I got to a place where I couldn't go to school. I couldn't work. I couldn't even study. And the end point of that curve down in my well-being was one day there was a little tiny step that I had to go over to get into next to my door, and I could not even lift my feet to do that, and I collapsed, and I stayed there for at least an hour crying and realized something must be done, because throughout those few years, I've gone to many doctors. They had no clue what was really going on, because none of the obvious were presenting themselves. I wasn't eating Twinkies, drinking Coca-Cola, eating, McDonald's. I was eating fairly well. I've always been like that. So nobody could help me. So I was broke, owed tons of money, couldn't finish my school, lost all my clients, and was scared out of my mind because I was really not well. So I realized that I had to go outside my box, outside what I knew, and discovered how others in other countries, other ways of handling our health, how did they deal with the body? And this is where my life went 180 degree, because I ended up in Koreatown, Chinatown, and I ended up talking to little doctors, no degrees, right? Little old men, typical like in the movies. Ended up learning so much from them about all the things that are in Shakeology right now. So this is where I discover the importance of the microbiome. Our gut health. This is where I discovered phytonutrients, antioxidants, prebiotic, probiotic, digestive enzymes, adaptogen herbs and mushrooms, the importance of the kind of food you eat, the importance of bioactive, that your food is alive, that the active, the things that you want in your food are alive when you ingest it, and the things you don't want are not there when you ingest it. Talking about pesticide and herbicides and all the things that are now in our food, GMO food, where we don't really know what we're ingesting. This is when I discovered all that. And so I changed everything about my life. And for the next at least 2 years, all I did is buy roots and barks and herbs and did my own very, basic serum, baked all my food, and started seeing the benefits. And starting within 3 months, seeing great results. And on top of that, I was in control of it. I realized that I could do something about it. I was not a victim. I didn't have to wait for someone to help me. I could take it on and help myself. So I continued learning through these wonderful souls, these doctors, and making my own little potions, and it became my own little drinks and my own little shakes. And when I was well enough to go back to work and rebuild my clientele, I brought these serums and these shakes with me. So depending on who I was dealing with, I would create a little potion for them. And so that started in my mid-20s, and it became sort of what I did. Everybody knew that if you hired me, I came with all these herbs and these potions and these shakes, and it was part of the training program and education. So I started educating them about the food they ate and what was missing. So that became my trademark, really. And then at some point, I'm going to cut to the chase, Carl, at that point, we had moved in and we were together, and he watched me do all these things for all my clients and for my boy, my little boy at the time, and asked me to create a shake for the Beachbody community. Now, throughout those decades, I had built shakes, made shakes and serums for many companies. And what had happened most of the time was that as the profit came in, the quality went down. So it doesn't have to be that way, but that was my experience. So when Carl asked me to create a shake for Beachbody, I said no twice. And I said no because this time I was married to the CEO, and if the CEO started ranking up the profit and putting down the quality of the shake, I would be very mad, but I can't walk out. He's my honey. So I would just be very, very angry for a very long time. And therefore, that was a big deal for me. And I had to have an agreement with Carl that he would never do that. And I am proud to say that after over 10 years, not only has the shake not lowered its quality and its potency, but it's actually the opposite. It got better and better and better. And Carl kept reinvested constantly into the shake so that we could continue progress with the different tools we have, better and better quality of technology in order to make sure that all the stuff we don't want, the herbicide, pesticide, chemicals, coloring, preservatives, all these things are not in the shake, and yet have the tools that are delicate and kind enough that we can keep the food alive, the active, the things that are healing to our bodies alive, the things that we are designed to receive. We are of nature, and we're designed to receive nature. It's a synergy, right? So that synergy between humans and nature is the very synergy that we try to recreate in the shake. We are very complex machines, a live machine. I think the most, eloquent and complicated machine ever. And therefore, this grace and this intricate mixture of constituents from nature is vital to our well-being. So whole food and these vital actives within those food is Shakeology. And we are very careful to keep it like that and to make it better and better. We are all so committed to that. So basically what I think about with the shake is it's not a concept. It's not some kind of fancy thing I read in a book and it sounded good, and then I decided to create this shake. So, and let me add here that I needed help to create this shake. And this is when Darren came in, my amazing partner who had the same passion, same understanding of all these vital knowing of ourselves, what we are, and same commitment to this quality. So, that was grace itself, bringing this man into our lives. So this, to me, is a little bit like, if you think of our lifestyle nowadays, the high stress, the impact on our bodies from the speed of life nowadays, right? So, we work 1 or 2 jobs, we take care of the house, we still are the one raising our kids. It's not enough that they go to school nowadays. We have to then bring them to piano classes, art classes, Spanish or Italian or French, and it's never enough. And it's the same thing with us. So, and all these gadgets with the EMF that we need, that we use, that are so helpful, and yet they take away any downtime. We don't have any place, whether it's the groceries or in the car. We can't just be with silence and quiet. We are bombarded constantly. So you have the high stress of the way we live nowadays. And on top of that, you've got the high stress of depleted food that is stripped of anything that is beneficial to our well-being, food that has been so compromised that our bodies so often can't even recognize it. So the stress of the food that is not enhancing our ability to live well, to be vital, and the stress of the speed of our lives nowadays, these stresses on our bodies, how do we deal with that? Because our food is depleted and we don't rest. We don't have any still point anymore. This is the gap, to me, that Shake fills. Those missing links, meaning aliveness, active, bioavailable, meaning it's easily processed by your bodies because your bodies recognize these elements. These missing links between these two things that we are all dealing nowadays is your probiotic, your prebiotic, your systemic enzyme, your digestive enzymes, your phytonutrients, your antioxidants, your adaptogens that are pluses that helps you so much to adapt to the stress of living. And the whole thing being based on pure whole food with a good amount of a protein, a nice amount of carbs, and filled with fiber. These two stressors on your body, this is the missing links. This is what Beachbody is trying to do with the Shakeology. If you don't get it anywhere else, we are trying to make it so that you can get it here at least 1 time a day. This is why people look at me and they say, but you're so conscious and you eat well. Why do you need it? Because I know how hard it is to get these elements, these missing links in our diet. So I have one of those shakes at least once a day to make sure that I can fill this gap. Because when I drink Shakeology, literally what I feel, especially that it's been a while and I take it every day, it's like this for me. It's like my body is just like, this is what I needed. I literally feel that. And this is my commitment, Darren's commitment, the whole company's commitment is to make sure that when you drink that shake, this is how your body feels. Because this is the food, the elements that your bodies need to perform at their best. Questions? I can't hear anything.
Sorry, yeah. No questions yet. We have no questions yet. That was pretty.
Good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was pretty amazing.
You know what I want to say, Lara, since we have no question? There's one thing that I love about the Beachbody platform that for me makes so much sense, because if you look at the story I just told, here I was, an individual who thought I was taking care of myself, got very ill, broke, scared, found people that educated me in a way that I didn't think I needed to be educated. So I didn't know that information. It didn't exist for me. And yet that was the very thing I needed. Got the information, started implementing it in my life every day, and started feeling the consequences of taking care of my body that way. Got well, got so excited that I started promoting it, talking about it, and doing it for other people. This is why the Beachbody platform makes so much sense to me. This is exactly what the coaches are doing. They're not feeling well. They know something is missing. They found information they didn't know about. They start implementing it. They help themselves, and they turn around and say, hey, here's my hand. Let me help you, because that worked for me. So this is why the platform is so smart to me, because it is always based on experiences. The same way that the shake was designed on my experiences, it was not a concept in my head. This is what the coach saw doing. This is how it felt for me. And therefore, let's see if that can help you too.
I have a few questions. First of all, I mean, as for Isabel, I've been with the company for 14 years and I've known you for so many years. And there were things in that story that I actually didn't know. So that was really unbelievable hearing the way backstory. We do have a couple questions. Does Shakeology help people who have high cholesterol?
Listen, I can't legally talk about any specific disease. It's not allowed for obvious reasons. But the most obvious to us all is that I can't know you. We know, you all know how intricate you are, the stuff you do, the stuff you don't do, what your life is about. There's no way I know that. So for me to start talking about specific disease and what we can or cannot do for you would be unrealistic. That being said, just like I said, this is alive. This is whole food. This is those missing links I was discussing. These are the things that we all know. You can go and Google it. You can talk to experts. You can read books. No matter what kind of diet you're on, we all know that these elements, your phytonutrients, which is basically antioxidants from greens, so your super greens, your super fruit, your fruit with their antioxidants, your microbiomes, gut health, so all the elements I just discussed, your enzymes, your probiotic, your prebiotic, which is feeding your probiotic in order for you to be able to digest, process, extract the elements from the food, and then utilize it efficiently. This is what your gut health is all about. And your good protein, fiber, and carbs. Those are the things that we all know we need to some extent to be well. And these are the very things we all know we need to thrive. Not just survive, but thrive. Yeah. So will Shakeology help? I would say personally, yes, of course, because it's food. This is not processed vitamins. This is whole food, and we keep it at its highest potency. So it cannot not help you. It's as if you're saying to me, will eating the perfect meal every day, day in and day out, help me feel better? Heck yeah.
Awesome. I have a bunch of other questions. How young can kids start drinking it?
Again, you have to bring the back to your pediatrician. Make him look at the back and decide together if you think it will be beneficial to your kids. I can't decide that for you. That being said, again, on a personal note, if you feel okay about your kids drinking Coke and eating a McDonald's and having a Twinkie, give it a shot. Bring that to your doctor and see what he says.
Yeah, good advice. So somebody posted that there's, she's asking what's in Shakeology that might be helping her night sweats. She's premenopausal.
Oh, well, again,
all the questions you're not allowed to answer.
It's all specific.
I'm hearing what's coming in.
Yeah, it's okay. Listen, I just went through menopause. I'm just past it, so I'm still living it really because who knows exactly how long it lasts. And menopausal has symptoms are very different for each people and very unique how and what helps us. But once again, good amount of protein has helped many women. A good healthy fats, fiber, the very basic of life, so that are in the Shakeology are things that we know help us no matter what. So I will always go back to that because what I've noticed is that, on a side note, Lara, if I may, is menopause to me is kind of a truth serum. Something happens in the body that whatever you got away with, you just don't anymore. You can pretend and you're gonna live it really badly, or you can sort of pay attention to what it's saying to you. So to me, it's the truth serum time. People that have sort of listened to their bodies and taken care of their bodies in a very obvious way that we're discussing right now tend to do a little bit better. Now, there's always extreme cases. This is why I can't talk to specific people. But the better you take care of your body, the more you give it the obvious healthy dose of protein, nice amount of carbs, good fiber, gut health, antioxidants, phytonutrients. I'm going to keep saying it to you so that it's drilled in your head. Those are the things that your body needs in order to process life itself and move through its times. So menopause is a time. It's something that we all move through. You can see it as your enemy, or you can hear listen what it says, and learn to pay attention. And I think that the Shakeology can only help. But that's my personal opinion.
Awesome. Can you drink? I don't. Or no, I assume you'll tell us when we're out of time. Can you drink? Because I have a couple more questions. Can you drink Shakeology more than once a day?
Personally, I say at least twice a day is safe. Then once again, please go and check with your doctors. But we're asking you once a day. It's funny when I get that question, I'm like, oh my God, so many people complain, why do you tell us to have it every day? And then I get these questions once in a while, can I have it twice a day? Yes, but I'm very happy if you have it once a day. Again, don't look at this as medication. Don't look at this as a processed vitamin with, that everything has been stripped to isolate one element of food. This is whole food. So you're ingesting a huge salad.
Awesome. Husband is allergic to mushrooms. Can he have Shakeology? I've heard this question a lot of days, but I'll look for you.
I'm allergic to, I'm highly sensitive to mushrooms. I do fine with Shakeology. That being said, when you have allergies, you've got to check it with your doctor. And you've got to go, if you go with your doctor and you think that you could maybe do well with it, just try super small. So just have a little tiny bit with some water, wait 3 days, and see how you feel. It takes 3 days for your body to react, process anything that it may have a reaction to. So just try very small, wait 3 days, do it again like that several times, and then you have to be the one gauging if you're doing well with it. You may, because there are adaptogen mushrooms in there, but you very well may not.
Got it. Excellent. Why use pea protein? I have a friend who can't drink it due to a nut allergy.
Well, some people, there's always people that will have problems with some elements. Unfortunately, we can't make one shake that fits all of the human beings in the world. We tried, and it's one of the reasons why we use pea protein, because it's the one that has least, what's the right way in English to say it? It has the least reaction on all levels. It's the least, there's a word for it. It doesn't create reaction overall. It is one of the reasons why we chose pea protein. But of course, some people will have some challenges that we can't speak to. You know what? When I get that on my regular Zoom calls, I tell them to try different, like try daily sunshine. Sometimes it's just a ratio that makes it that you can or cannot have it. So the Shakeology is like that, is a ratio of different kind of protein, and the mix sometimes makes it that you don't react. This is why it's worth giving it a shot.
Anytime you have, I have about 5 or 6 more questions, but anytime you have some questions, just let me know. But can you cook with it? Somebody was asking about making brownies, but can you cook with it?
Yes, we have a lot of recipes with Shakeology that are raw recipes where you don't have to cook it at all. And again, if you keep remembering that Shakeology is food, yes, you can cook food, and some food will remain pretty active, meaning some of the bioactive in the food, some of the stuff that you want, the good stuff, will remain there, and some will be killed through the heating process. We don't heat our elements in Shakeology. We make sure not to do that through that technology I was discussing. So yes, you can cook with it. Some of it will remain, which is lovely, but just be aware that some of it will be killed in the heating process. This is why we also give you the option of raw dessert and raw snacks where you don't have to cook the Shakeology powder. Yet, if you were going to use some kind of chocolate powder to make it yummy, I would recommend Shakeology instead of that. At least you've got some nutrients left in there.
Got it. How is it different than taking multivitamins? How is Shakeology different than taking multivitamins? You really addressed that, but
well, I did address it that way, and once again, I can't speak to all the multivitamins, and I'm not there in the process of making these vitamins, right? I'm not personally committed that way, the way that I am with Shakeology. So most vitamins, again, you get 1 or 2 elements in each food where they get these vitamins from, and it's processed a certain way. This is the difference between vitamins, most vitamins, and Shakeology. Shakeology is whole food, so not only do you get the main phytonutrients that you're looking for, but you get all the subtle other elements of life, of nature, of the plant or the bean or the flower, whatever it is that we're utilizing. We try to keep the whole in the Shakeology. It's not just one piece taken out. So there's a lot of mystery in that. science is still not capable of figuring out the hundreds of nutrients that are there that we can't analyze because we don't have the right tools. This is nature. This is the magic of nature. So when you keep the whole plant in, very often you get all that good stuff that you can't analyze. There's no name for it, but it's there. And the difference is you feel it.
You made mostly references to being a whole food. Somebody's asking that how do they explain to their customers that it's a whole food even though it's a powder? Sometimes it's hard for people to understand.
Well, yeah, I see. Because of the powder form. Yeah, it's hard to understand, right? This little.
I think you spoke a little bit about the process for taking these whole ingredients.
Yeah. Well, first of all, quick example. There's a difference between extracting the vitamins from an apple and grabbing an apple from the tree and biting into it, right? That's whole food. You extract the vitamin from the apple. That's more like a vitamin pill. And so this is why the shake is not $30, because it's millions of dollars invested in processing this food from nature. So basically the way we test the soil to make sure that it's clean, that there's no herbicide, pesticide, the way we test the food itself, that there's no GMO elements in there, the way we take that food and use delicate technology to powder it without, once again, taking away the elements that you get when you bite into your apple, let's say. So it's a complex process. It's an expensive process to make sure that this apple is basically a powdered apple in your shake. That's the beauty of the machine and all our scientists at Beachbody. We have these tools, the technology that is highly precise and delicate that can do that for you. That's the difference. Lara, am I answering it without getting deep in it? Yeah, so just think of that. Extracting from the food or somehow finding a way to dry the food and keep it as intact as possible, as alive as possible with temperature testing. We make sure that it's carried in a way that the temperature doesn't impede on that aliveness, that those bioactive elements in the food. It's all these techniques that we have learned and we keep on learning that allows us to have that food just powdered and alive and intact in your shake.
Hey, Isabel, allow me to jump in. So let's speak to that. So Shakeology is known to have 70 superfood ingredients. It's a lot of ingredients, right? So can you speak to how you and the team decided the dosage of each of those ingredients for Shakeology, how they work together?
Well, first of all, if that makes sense with your question, we know when I talked about the complexity of the human body. So, we don't just do math. We don't just raise our kids. We don't just deal with intricate relationship patterns. We don't just do things, cook. We don't just analyze, data. We are this incredible machine that can multitask and do a bunch of stuff at the same time. We're highly sophisticated machines. And like I said, nature is highly sophisticated in the delivery of it. And so that synergy I was talking about earlier is how we try to synergize with the Shakeology ingredients. How we go about it is basically, again, going back to the missing links, right? What is it that we desperately need, and what are the main keys, the main links that are less and less available in our food because of the chemicals and the processing and the lack of understanding of this highly sophisticated machine. So I'm not going to go specifically the dosage unless you ask me to, but really what we looked at within the shake is what is missing the most. So all the people that are working with a to-be mindset, veggies, right? So we understand that water and vegetables are highly lacking in our diets. So we focused on the phytonutrients and the antioxidants, the fruits and vegetables in nature, and we tried to find a wide array of those phytonutrients and antioxidants because diversity is also what's lacking in our diet nowadays. Now, so we focused on these elements that are most missing, and the widest area that we can, because we know that nowadays we don't do that. Our plates are not full of colors. They're usually brown and beige. Steak, rice, potatoes, hot dogs, that kind of stuff. So we wanted to bring colors. So we went all around the world to try to find the most potent and most alive ingredients and the most diversity and bring it into the shake. That was crucial because, again, we're looking at what's lacking nowadays more and more. And then we went into the ingredients that we know are the power player, that are rarely in our markets, i.e. adaptogen mushrooms and herbs, or that we really don't know about, but they've been used all around the world for thousands of years to enhance our well-being. Those are these adaptogen mushrooms and adaptogen herbs. Those are all the elements that have the probiotic, prebiotic, systemic enzymes, digestive enzymes, and of course the basic fiber. Very basic, but almost none of us have near enough. It's unbelievable, just fiber. But because we don't have our veggies and our fruits, we are lacking the fiber that is so crucial to our well-being. So again, we were looking at what's missing more and more in our diet, that we can't live and feel well. So that was another reason why we brought in all these ingredients. So we really went out and see what is missing and how can we get it in this little scoop. And this is how the process of elimination happened. Then you have to look at what blends well, what is a good synergy. Sometimes the tastes are so potent that you just can't make it taste palatable. So we had to decipher which one blended well, which one didn't. And then you test the ratio of what's in these foods. Do we have enough of what we want in it? And by process of elimination, you can slowly create a certain formula that you keep that works and that lives up to all these criteria. Have I kept it basic enough but answered? Yes?
Yeah, I think so.
If they don't, please raise your hand or something so we can talk to it.
I don't know if we have any more time, Armin. Armin, there was one question about expiration date, and is it bad? Is it just not as potent? What happens?
Yes, it's not bad. You're not gonna drop dead. I'm happy to report. But as the expiration date goes on and on, as we pass that date, we can't guarantee the color, the flavor, the texture, and the potency. And again, that's a good sign. It's like an apple. If you put an apple on the table and 30 days later, 40 days later, and 50 days later, it's still shiny and pretty, be worried. I would chuck that apple. So it's the same thing. Again, back to it's whole food. It's whole food, therefore, after a certain time, since we didn't load it with preservatives, we have natural preservative from the food that we enhance, but it will slowly lose its potency. That's all. So we recommend, if you're going to go for it so you can actually feel it. Go for it for the year. I think the bag is good for about a year.
Got it. Okay.
That's it.
Anything else here? Arna, how much time do we have?
We have time for a couple more questions. I know there's a couple that I think you're asked that we should close with.
So Isabel, as we talked last week about, Alana's and her group and people having it, a lot of people having it in the morning, some people having it as part of their snack, a lot of people making yogurt. Someone's asking, what do you need to add anything to it, and what's your favorite thing to add to your shake?
Well, you don't need to. Again, we created this, so it's very important on its own. We also make sure the calories were low enough that if you wanted to make it just a snack with water, it will be fantastic and it will taste good. But because of the low calorie intent and the potency, if you want to make that a meal, or depending on what you're doing it, for me personally, my food is very much based on what I'm doing. Is it a highly active day, I will dress up my shakes. I will put avocado, coconut oil, almond butter, spinach, kale. But if I just need a snack real quick because I'm sort of my lunchtime is past and I have one more meeting, I can have it just with milk, any kind of milk you like, and that will keep me well for another 2 hours. So the beauty of the shake is that because it's low calorie and it's very potent, it's quite beneficial on its own without being dressed with anything else, but you can make it as rich and thick and useful as you need to post-workout. If you skip a meal, you can add your avocados and whatever you're comfortable with and make it so that you're satiated for several hours with the adds on. Yeah. So it's a highly versatile, and this is what I love. Also, very often when I need a quick snack, I do yogurt. I really am one of those people that add a scoop of Shakeology in my yogurt. It's perfect. It adds protein, it adds fibers, it's more potent, makes my yogurt, a superfood meal. So yeah, I mean, there's a million ways to use it, and we love the fact that you can be your own creator of your own Shakeology. We also have all these boosts for the same purpose. Have you missed a meal? Have you not eaten what you should have eaten? You can add fiber, or you can add greens. It's a beautiful thing to be able to get to know yourself and feed yourself according to your own needs.
Awesome.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah. I think that was
There's
super
no question? Come on, man.
Yeah, no. I mean, that was it. Well, I literally have like 12 of them. You answered the mushrooms, you answered the chills, you answered the premenopause, cholesterol. Can you drink it more than once a day? You answered that one. Losing potency, vitamins, cooking with it, whole food powder, and your favorite things to do.
So we'll have to have this one last question, Isabel. So here's a question we often hear. I already eat very healthy. I eat very healthy. Do I need Shakeology?
Yeah, it's a thing that I hear all the time. And, once again, I eat very healthy. I am, highly conscious of my food. That's what I've been doing for almost 30 years now with myself and with others. And I drink that shake every day because I know how challenging it is to get these missing links in your food. I know how hard it is to find food that's truly alive and get enough of it to deal with the impact of life. We have gradually stepped into a lifestyle, like I discussed, that is crazy. It really is. And I have yet to see people that eat perfect. So these people that are asking this question, that you eat perfect every day, you don't have binge weekend, you don't have a week vacation craziness food-wise. Every day you have the perfect breakfast with your organic, non-GMO sprouted food, and lunch perfect, and then the snacks perfect, and then the perfect dinner that you never overindulge in any way, and you're highly precise in the quality and your research on what you eat. I can't even claim that perfection. This is why my insurance is Shakeology, because the way we make Shakeology is we make sure that it is all that you expect most of food to be, and that is unfortunately not nowadays. We put that dedication in that shake. This is why I drink it, because I know I can't be that precise like a doctor on a surgery table with this food nowadays. It's quite confusing with the perfect ratio. I can't do that. So my hat to you if you can, but I've yet to have seen that. And I've done that for 15 years. I actually followed people. That's what I did. I would go to their house and I would hang out with them every day for 7 days, and I would make them write down. I'm talking about people that were athletes and, people that had to be on top of themselves. And there was tons of missing links in their diets. So I don't really believe that that's true. I don't really believe that we understand the impact of our lifestyle and the state of affair of planet Earth with our depleted soil, polluted air, and the travesty on how the food is handled and processed and delivered to us. There's a lot of education to be had regarding these concepts. So for me, that's my answer. Good for you if you feel that way. I usually don't try to convince anybody. I speak my truth. I have that insurance of Shakeology once a day because I know that all that hard work is provided in this shake, and that little scoop that looks like nothing but is so darn potent and is my insurance to at least getting that dense nutrition once a day.
Outstanding. That's exactly it. I've been taking Shakeology now for 7 years. I thank you for creating it, and certainly fits well into 2B mindset. We're going to go ahead and, yeah, absolutely. We're going to go ahead and close the call. For all those of you that are trying Shakeology for the first time, try it out for yourself. Try a new recipe. Check out some of the ingredients. Do your own research. But at the end of the day, remember that we so believe in Shakeology that we absolutely will give you a money back guarantee on it. So
that's right. And may I say something as you're talking? Is especially when you change your food radically, right? You've got all these cravings. There's nothing like Shakeology. It's so potent, it's so satisfying, it's so fulfilling. It really helps you with the sugar craving or just the hunger that comes from a great switch of the way you eat, your patterns, your emotional patterns. It's really just, God sent for anyone who's undergoing this transition regarding their nutrition. It's really worth giving it a shot on that level alone.
Absolutely. So we thank you, Isabel.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your time, Lara. Great seeing you guys. And,
Thank you. Thanks, Isabel. I hope we really helped, educate people in this 2B Mindset test group about the benefits of Shakeology. It was really, really helpful.
I hope so too. I really hope I was useful.
You're outstanding.
Outstanding.
Now Darren has got to keep up with you because
Go back to Bob.
He'll do just fine.
Darren will do next week, same time, same place. So
all right.
I'm gonna go drink my second one. Bye.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi. Excuse me. Let me turn this video.